Let's rewind a little bit. It's a hot July morning in 2000. I'm barefoot, running through the front yard with a popsicle in hand, making mud pies and daring the heat to catch me. No alarms, no schedules, just summer. Now, fast forward to 2025. My 13-year-old doesn't get to play outside without supervision. The freedom that my generation had as millennials, it's not something that we're able to give our kids anymore. We grew up riding bikes until the streetlight came on. That kind of freedom doesn't exist for them. And now school is taking away what little time they have left, one board vote at a time. My name is Jeanette, and I am a student, a speaker, and most importantly, I'm a mother of two. One of my children has ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which affects how she concentrates and adapts to change, also how she regulates her emotions. And like millions of other kids, what she needs most is space, unstructured time to reset and to just be. So let's talk about what's really happening. Here locally in Roane County, where my son goes to school, the calendar keeps creeping earlier and earlier. I pulled the official board archives and going back all the way to 2013. And here's what they show. In 2013, that start date was August 12th. And in 2016, August 10th. Now in 2025, we're starting July 31st. So let's call this what it is. It's a gradual, quiet rollout of year-round school. They just aren't saying the words out loud yet. And while they shave a few days off of summer break each year, they're also shaving off childhood. Because kids today, they don't get that same open air, sun-drenched hours that we had. They don't get to be bored out in the backyard. They're supervised, scheduled, and tired. We're conditioning children to treat exhaustion as normal, to associate July with dread, and to accept the loss of joy as a side effect of growing up. Let's step back and look at what this system is doing to our kids. Some people argue that earlier start dates close learning gaps, prevent summer slide, or help working parents with childcare. So let's look at those facts, not just academically, but emotionally. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, ADHD diagnoses has surged more than 40% over the last 2 decades. And it's not just the diagnosis rate, it's how they feel. According to Pew Research, 70% of US teens say anxiety and depression are a major problem among their peers. We're pushing kids to perform in hotter classrooms earlier in the year with less time to recharge, and then we're wondering why they're mentally burned out before Labor Day. This isn't preparation for adulthood. This is emotional wear and tear disguised as structure. In 2022, the National Assessment of Educational Progress reported that test scores in reading and math dropped to historic lows, the worst in decades. So, if earlier school isn't improving those outcomes, what is it actually doing? It's certainly not solving learning loss. It's not solving any childcare concerns. And it's definitely not solving any burnout. And of course, as parents, we're not being heard. In a 2014 community survey, WBIR Knoxville, NBC affiliated news station, reported that 70% of Knox County parents wanted a later school start date, but the board did it anyways. That's not progress. That's dismissal. Let's get real for a minute. What kind of summer do we want our kids to remember? The kind filled with fireflies, boredom, and barefoot backyard adventures? Or the kind filled with schedules, deadlines, and meltdowns before school's even begun? We're not just cutting summer short, we're cutting off rest, creativity, and family connection. We are teaching kids that burnout is normal, that July means stress, that they have to earn their right to just relax. And here's the irony: summer break wasn't even created for convenience or luxury. It was created to protect kids from burnout over a century ago. As PBS NewsHour explains, kids in rural agriculture areas were most needed in the spring and fall. In the days before air conditioning, summer classrooms were full of ill students, so districts officially shut down during the hottest months. So even back then, we understood that rest matters for health, for learning, and for life. If they could recognize that in the 1800s, why are we ignoring that now? That's not childhood. And if we don't stop it, this pattern will become their baseline for adulthood. So, what do we do with all of this? We fight for the bare minimum: mid August guardrails for school start dates. We push back against quiet rollouts and calendar creep. And we remind the people in charge that they work for us. Here's how you take that action: you email your local school board, ask them directly, where's the evidence that starting school in July improves these student outcomes? Attend board meetings. Bring your calendar, bring a friend. Speak up. Vote with intention. These board members are elected, so that means they're replaceable. And above all, demand transparency. Demand research-based decisions. Demand calendars that prioritize children's well-being and not just the logistics. Don't wait until your child says that they hate July. Don't wait until they burn out before Labor Day. One voice can start the ripple, and yours matters. As Alice Cooper shouted in his iconic 1972 anthem, "School's out for summer," unless you're in Tennessee. Then it's back to school before your sunscreen bottles are even empty. Now, picture this. Your child wakes up on a warm July morning, popsicle in hand. They're running barefoot through the green grass. They're giggling. They get to rest. They return to school in mid-August, well rested, not wrecked. Now picture the opposite. Another summer cut short, another diagnosis, another generation that learns to equate exhaustion with success. We've walked through the impact. We dismantled some of the excuses. We laid out what needs to change. My proposition is simple. Let's return to a true traditional school calendar, one that gives children the summer that they truly deserve and gives families the time that we're already running out of. As parents, you get 17 summers, one voice. Use it. Because the next time someone says school starts early this year, I want you to really think, not if I have anything to say about it,